Welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to be making from scratch chicken broth and chicken bone broth. We are going to be freeze drying it and storing it for long-term storage. We are going to show you the process. Afterwards, at the end, we are going to reconstitute a small batch of it and see how it tastes. There's nothing like wonderful hot chicken broth or chicken bone broth when you're going into winter like we are now and enjoying a nice hot cup of chicken broth. So let me show you the process and how we do it. All right, so to make our chicken broth, my wife here is rinsing the leg quarters. And then we're gonna throw those in the Instapot, kind of stack them in there. And next we want to add water all the way to the max line. And now we'll put the lid on and seal it. And we want to hit the poultry button. And that's it. And now after it's done and cooled off, we can start taking the chicken out of there. And after getting all the chicken out of there, you want to just skim out whatever you can. You can also strain it, the broth that is, but we like it with little pieces of meat in there. Tastes better. And now it's time to take it out. Isn't that beautiful? And we're gonna now put this in the fridge. And once this cools down, it'll become like gel. So next we're gonna make some bone broth. Now what we do is every time we buy chicken thighs, we take the bones out because they cook quicker that way. But we save the bones, and once we get enough of them, we put them all in the freezer, of course. And once we get enough of them, the bones, we will make bone broth out of them. And when we get enough bones, we put them in the Instant Pot and fill it with water up to the maximum line. And we're going to put that in the Instapot. And we're going to put that on broth and set it for 2 hours at low heat. And after that's done, we're going to open it up and start removing all the bones. Now these bones had a lot of meat in there too, so there's going to be plenty of meat in this broth also that we're going to skim out. And here we have all the bones and meat, and the meat portion is going to our dogs, and the cartilage, of course. And here is all the wonderful bone broth that we got from it. And now we're going to pour out all this bone broth into a bowl. And now that bowl of wonderful bone broth is going to go into the fridge, and that will turn into a wonderful gel also. Now the chicken broth, we are going to skim off the fat off the top, because when you put that in the fridge, all the fat goes up to the very top, and the broth itself will turn into a gel, which is all the collagen that's in there. And it's very healthy and very good for you, for all your bones, tendons, ligaments, and your gut. And so once we skim that fat off the top, now we can actually start putting the chicken broth onto the trays. And what we're doing here is putting up to 3 pounds of chicken broth on the trays. And once you get your 3 pounds on each tray, then you want to smash them all down so it sits nice and flat on the tray. And it'll be ready to put in the freezer. And then the next day, once it's froze, we can start freeze drying it. And the same deal here with the bone broth. You want to skim all the fat off the top. And the same deal here, up to 3 pounds of bone broth per tray. And that's what we're doing here. And you just want to flatten everything out so it doesn't stick up above the tray. Alright guys, so it's the next day. The broth we put in the freezer is now frozen, and we got to get the freeze dryer going here. And on the display here, we have to hit start, hit frozen, and we have to check our drain valve, make sure it's shut. And that's closed. And hit yes. And when this is ready, we'll load the broth in. All right, so the freeze dryer is ready. We can start loading the broth in. And now we hit yes, the food is inserted, and start. All right, now that the freeze dryer is running, we'll see how long it takes. Guys, if you're interested in a cube freeze dryer, they come in black like you see here, or in all stainless steel. You can also get it with an oilless internal vacuum pump, which this one has, or an external vacuum pump where you have to change the oil once in a while. It comes with a whole bunch of accessories. You can also order the 5 tray for the unit where you can put more food in there to freeze dry. If you're interested, I'm going to put a link in the description under the video where it brings you right to the website, and you can pick and choose whatever model you want. They are all competitively priced. It is an affiliate link, and it would help us out on this channel. Thank you very much. So it took just over 42 hours to complete the process. We're going to take them out of the freeze dryer now, put them on the counter, and I'll show you how we process it. All right, so I pulled them out of the freeze dryer. We got it set up here. Now this turned into one solid piece, but it's like styrofoam. Okay, that's basically how this came out. Very crispy and just falls right apart. So this is the bone broth and this is the chicken broth here. So what we do is we're going to put them in these Mylar bags here. These are from Prep for Life. And these are the small bags because we're going to grind these down into powder with the food processor. And for these small bags here, we're going to use 100 cc oxygen absorbers, or you could vacuum seal them in bags, and that'll also store just as well. All right, so what we're going to do now is just break these apart, put them in the food processor here, and turn them into powder. So these bags are pretty small, but they're nice because if you put them all in a big bag, then you got to open this big bag up and then you got to use it, you know, in a short amount of time. So putting them in these smaller bags is actually a little better. You can open one up when you want and use it within a short amount of time. And we're going to take some of that out and we're going to sample it. This is the bone broth, right? Yeah. So I don't know exactly what the ratio is, the water and powdered broth here. Well, yeah, we'll just put it to taste. It's not rocket science. Try that. That's good for this bag. We have our bone broth here. You want to do the bone broth or chicken broth? Which one you want? Bone broth? We're going to do the bone broth. All right, so let's start with just a tablespoon. A good heaping tablespoon full. So right now it's too hot to drink because I just boiled that water. So we're going to put the oxygen absorbers in these bags here, and I need the scissors. And like I said, we're just using 100 cc for these small bags. It should be more than good enough. And whenever you're using oxygen absorbers, you want to get the air, as much air out of the bag as you can. And these have a Ziploc thing on there, so
this is chicken.
That one's already got the oxygen absorber? That one doesn't, I think. Yeah.
So these two, is that chicken?
This one's chicken here. You can always tell the chicken broth is more yellow. That one's all set. That's chicken broth. And we have to seal your oxygen absorbers right away. All right, those are all set. And these are the bone broth, right? I better make sure. Yep, bone broth. All right, that one's all set. This one's bone broth. So we are going to put a little salt in it. I'll put a little salt there. Yeah, it tastes pretty good. It tastes real good. Yeah, a little more salt too is better. So yeah, this is wonderful. On a nice cold winter day, you'll have chicken broth or bone broth anytime you want, instant. Yeah, that is really good. And again, the nice thing about this, again, you can make it anytime you want. instantly. And you can make it as thick as you want, you know, as far as taste. That's pretty good. One tablespoon per cup, roughly. Roughly a cup.
Yeah, half
Maybe half a cup. Well, try that, and then you can always add more to it, you know. Oh boy, that's good, nice and hot. Tastes delicious. All right, guys, so that is pretty much it for this video. Now we got bone broth anytime we want it. And like I said, a nice winter day and just relaxing. Nothing like a nice hot cup of chicken broth or bone broth. All right, guys, so thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.